everyone, it's me, Darlene. I am here with another mini quilt series. Both things are mini. The quilt will be mini and the series will be mini. I am going to experiment with making a polyester quilt. Here are some reasons why you would want to make a polyester quilt. First of all, they are super warm because they trap the heat. If you cover yourself with polyester, it doesn't breathe. Unless it's a poly knit, that breathes a bit, but still, it's going to trap the heat and keep you warm. Another reason is that polyester is generally cheaper to buy than cotton. You can often find it on sale. I mean, you can even find it sometimes as low as $1 per yard. Another reason, there is a lot of clothing made out of polyester and rayon. Now, rayon has some natural fiber in it, so that's always a good option too. If you have thrift stores near you that sell clothing cheap, look for some like big summer dresses that are nice and flowy, long. You get a lot of fabric there. Or you can just go through your own closet. Another reason, polyester is very durable and it washes well, and it's just a great quilt even for your kids to use on the floor, for your dogs to lay on. Keep it in your car, just whatever, you're going to like it. Now, I know there are some of you out there who are going to say poo-poo to that. Quilts are not made out of polyester. You can do anything you want. In the sewing world, you can pretty much do anything you want in the entire world, as long as it's not illegal. And last time I checked, sewing polyester in the form of a blanket is fine. I don't think anyone has gone to jail for that. So we're going to do it. I have no clue at all what I am going to do. I went in my cellar and I pulled up polyester because I do have a lot of it, because I did make clothing for women and I used a lot of polyester, mostly rayon, but I did have polyester in my mix. So I pulled this up. This happens to be a polyester knit. I'm thinking of using this for the backing. It's stretchy. I'm fine with stretchy. As a matter of fact, when you're putting pieces together, if one has a little bit of stretch and it's coming out a little bit too short on one side, hey, you stretch it a little bit, you fudge it, you make it work, all is good. The person who stays warm under that blanket isn't going to care that you had to stretch a little part of it out. The other two things I have are, this is black polyester, and it's, you know, very slinky. It's got a satin finish. And I also have white, and this one is a crinkle polyester. So it's got a little bit of a texture to it. More slinky that I have is a print like this. No stretch to this, and just like with the black and white, no stretch. It's just a slinky, again, almost satin type finish. This one's more of a crepe finish. Not quite as satiny as the black. Now this one has a satin finish. It is very shiny, very slinky, and I love the print. So might use that. And then this is one of those things that I asked myself, why the hell did I buy this shit? And I bought a lot of it. And I have like 2 or 3 other prints like this, similar. Whole entire bolts of it. I used to buy the bolt when I had a sewing business because I used to go through the fabric, but I never found a use for this stuff. So I'm thinking I might do a layer of this in the center just to give it a little bit more weight and just to use this up. Or I might do some foundation piecing and use this as a foundation. Now, I wouldn't normally suggest you use something slinky, although this, it's slinky, but it's almost rough. It's hard to explain. But, you know, obviously the easiest things to sew are probably cotton. But if you've got fabric on hand, just go ahead and try it. There are always things you can do. You can always iron on fusing to make it a little easier. But I'm not doing any of that. I'm going to be brave and just move forward with what I've got. A really cool quilt you can make is, if you like the looks of a cotton quilt, you are more than welcome to do this using cotton, but do consider sometimes, especially if you don't care to have a puffy quilt or to buy batting, you can do a cotton top and a cotton backing and put a layer of polyester in the middle if that's what you happen to have on hand or if it's very cheap for you to buy. The polyester in the center, if you use that quilt on your body, it's going to trap the heat, but the cotton won't make it like stick to you. You know, obviously if you get overly heated, you might be sweaty a little bit, but it's not like it's going to, you know, cling to you. The cotton lets it breathe. The poly keeps you warm. Very, very good way to make a nice warm blanket. And again, you can skip the whole inside layer if you want. If you can have a cotton top and then just use polyester as the backing, you don't need anything in the center, you can do that. So I have no clue at this moment at all what I am going to do, but those are the fabrics that I'm expecting to work with. I don't know if I'll use them all. I might use just a couple. I have no clue what style block I'll be making. I just am going to sit and think about it, but I wanted to edit this intro while thinking. I'm going to be doing this series in hopefully short little steps. I mean, it might be like really abrupt at times, but just to let you know, I'm not going to drag it out. Usually when I do a quilt series like this, I try to knock it out as quickly as possible and try to do like an episode every day or at least every other day. So it won't take long. I'm thinking maybe 3 to 5 episodes in all. You might want to just wait and watch the whole thing after I upload it all and get it done before you get started, or you can just go ahead and get started and beat me to the punch. You do whatever you want. So let's just let me think for a while and absorb all this, and we'll get started as soon as I'm ready. I thought about it, and I'm already making myself sick over this project. I picked, you know, the worst possible fabrics to work with, slinky things and all that, but I want to do it because I want to show you, hopefully, that we can make something out of even difficult fabrics. You just kind of have to plan in advance a little bit. With something slinky, you know, I'm not going to want to do something that requires any form of precision, like, you know, blocks where you want points to match up. Not doing anything like that. So I did decide that I'm going to sew on a foundation, just because it will stabilize a little bit, and I'm going to do like one gigantic kind of crazy quilt style block, only I won't be working in the round. I'm planning on doing strips, just long strips, but I'm going to purposely make them wonky, you know, cut odd shapes, so that way I don't have to worry about trying to make my strips, you know, line up, you know, straight up and down. So we don't have to worry about that. So I cut this piece like 36 inches square. Oh, the other nice thing about polyester is much of it comes in like 55 to 60 inches wide. So you get more fabric. This was almost 60 inches wide. I could press this a little bit, but I kind of liked seeing my center line. I don't know why, because nothing has to be centered on this baby. And now I'm just going to... I am using this for the backing, I think. I'm not using it for the top. I think I'm going to cut some strips out of the two prints, which don't go together at all. I mean, not at all. I'm not really concerned about that. And I don't know if I'm going to do both black and white. Jeez, I have no idea. So let me think. I think I'm not going to use the white because I am almost thinking there's a possibility that this could go on eBay as a doggy blanket or something that they can have in their bed. White, you know, would get dirty. So let's just go with these 3 colors. My plan is to just cut some strips, work some magic. So this fabric is about 54 inches wide. So obviously if I cut my strips, you know, salvage to salvage, they're going to be more than wide enough, you know, to cover from end to end of the foundation. And now I have to remember, I can't just go ahead and cut wonky like this because this is all folded. So if I want a long wonky strip, I'd have to have this all open. So what I'm going to do is just cut a strip. I'm going to cut my strips pretty wide. I don't want this quilt top to take forever, so let's just cut wide strips to cover up the foundation quickly. I'm just going to cut like this. Oh, I need 2 to start. I'm thinking I'm going to do this and then a little bit of black and then another piece of the other fabric and then a little bit of black. I don't know. Sounds ugly, but let's go for it. Black always makes things better. I'm not even going to press this. well, maybe I'll cut a strip and then I'll press it. Now, maybe the black doesn't have to be as wide. All right, so let me press this. Oh my God, this is gonna be such a pain. Let's get started. I am just taking this piece and I am putting it in the center. And I'm going to make sure that I have some sticking out on all edges. The foundation, it doesn't matter if it's right side up or down. Nobody's going to see the foundation because there's going to be a backing. However, in case something happens and I don't ever make a backing, I'm going to make a backing. I did put it right sides down because that's something you can always consider. Just, you know, choose your bottom thread to either match or contrast. You can sew directly on a foundation and also use the foundation as a backing. And in this case, you know, you would have lines just going up and down the back of the fabric. But the first strip here is going to be right side facing up. And then I want my black, which has a satin finish on just one side. So that's the right side. And I want that facing down. And I'm just going to be sewing along this edge, and then I will be flipping and pressing. But now here's the deal. If I want my strip to be wonky, I would want my black fabric to be more like at an angle. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? I would want to like maybe start it up here and then sew down. That looks pretty good to me. I'm going to leave it like that. And I am going to put just a couple pins just to hold it for me to get to the machine. I don't care about pins for when I'm actually sewing. That's good enough. That's going to hold it at the right angle. And I guess I will take you to the machine with me. Thread color does not matter because we won't be seeing the thread unless you are using your foundation as the backing, and then you would want to make sure you have a thread in the bobbin that you like. Where's my friggin' petal? There it is. Oh boy. You can certainly use this method with cotton. It's a good way to make a quilt that is, you know, not too big, because it's hard to have a lot of fabric under your sewing machine, especially if you have a camera next to you, because that tripod takes up space too. Wouldn't that be wonderful if this wasn't as hard as I expected? Okay, I'm going to just start sewing. So far, so good. I'm just trying to keep my foundation flat and trying to keep everything flat. Oh my God. This is terrible. I'm sliding all over the place. Very anxious to see what we have going on. Now I'm having to sew far from the edge because I want to make sure I'm catching the bottom fabric. Okay, this is a case where a couple of other pins would have been helpful. But you know me, I just like to not do things that way. Oh my God, I haven't used that thing in the back for a long time. Okay, I want to take these pins out because I know I will hurt myself. Oh, this is like so crooked. But I'm going to go and press this open and we'll just see what we have. I don't actually hate the way this came out because it was very forgiving and it just let me press it. Yes, there's some little like weird angles and I'm good with that. So not only do I have like difficult fabric to work with, but my prints are certainly not something that anyone would, you know, have work together, but we're going with it. So let me move this. And I am going wide. Again, maybe wider than the other strip. And I'm going to cut several strips now so I can have them already cut. I'm going pretty wide with this one. Pretty wide with this one. Whoops. Alright, we'll start with 4 strips for this. Now my black strips, I don't need them as wide. A little wider, just vary it. And again, I don't really know how much I'm going to need, so we'll just stop there. And let's cut a few more of this. So now I want a strip of this. And again, I want to make sure that I have enough. And it seems like I do. I am going to put this right sides together. And again, I'm going to pin in a few places just to kind of hold it for me. I might use more than 2 pins this time. And it's kind of going off wonky here, which I like. It's going to make the black a little narrower there, I hope. Okay, off to the machine. And here I go. And you know, if you have a walking foot, you can always use your walking foot. It doesn't have to be just on thick things. It would keep the satin from like sliding so much because it doesn't put like pressure and go like this. It's like this. And I have a walking foot. I just don't choose to use it. That was quick. Pretty sure I cut too many strips because look, we're almost off the edge. So I like that. I will be putting one more piece of black here and then another piece of this like watercolor print. I may put the black like here to make this a little bit more narrow. Not even going to trim this. I would just, you know, lay the black here and sew like this, you know, and I can go wonky if I want. I actually think I would like it more like this to make it a little wider up there and more narrow down here. I don't know. I will have to play with it. I am going to finish the top off camera, and when I come back, I will have the whole top covered with strips, but I won't trim it yet. I will show you. But what I'm going to do is just continue on this side, then I will flip this, and I will continue on this side. I would just put black and then my other print and then black and then the other print. So let me get the top done. Do subscribe so you don't miss part 2 of this most awesome polyester quilt that you will probably never want to make. Again, do think of it as making a blanket that is going to be usable. If you have fabric and you don't know what to do with it, use it for a picnic blanket, whatever. You know, you can probably get all the grass stains in the world on it and food stains all over it, and it'll probably just come right out in the wash. Polyester is good for that. Or you can just use whatever fabric you want. So do stick around for part number 2, which will be coming up very soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!